Welcome to third semester. Hope you have enjoyed the vacation and waiting for the classes to commence. But it is unfortunate uh, to think that COVID has made all the areas of life stranded, and we are not in a position to attend regular classes. So we thought of sharing the syllabus and the topics related to English through this video recording, and we'll be in touch with you with these video recordings. We are going to upload all these to the college website, and from there you'll get a link by which you can view or watch these videos and get your doubts cleared. So, in this video recording, the first video recording, uh, which is a kind of an online teaching, the virtual mode, I'm going to share some of the basics of language, and after that, we'll go into the subject of English language and how do we use this language for communication. All these things we'll discuss one after the other. So first we'll start with the word language. So when I use the word language, so you start thinking in different ways. So some of you may give the answer. What do you mean by language? Language అంటే ఏంటి? భాష అంటారు. ఎందుకు భాష వాడతాం మనం? మాట్లాడడానికి, తెలిసిన విషయాలు చెప్పడానికి. భాష లేకుంటే మనకు సమాచారాన్ని అందించే విధానము ఉండదు. భాష లేకుంటే మనం ఇతరులకు అర్థము కాము. భాష లేకుంటే మనం ఇతరుల నుంచి నేర్చుకోలేం. సో దీస్ ఆన్సర్స్ యూ గివ్ వెన్ ఐ ఆస్క్ యూ సంథింగ్ అబౌట్ ద వర్డ్ లాంగ్వేజ్. సో వాట్ లాంగ్వేజ్ ఎగ్జాక్ట్లీ మీన్స్? How do we use it for communication? And why do we learn English as a means of communication? So all these things I'm going to share with you through this video. So first we start with the word language. How to pronounce the word language? So we have to pronounce it as language. So we call it generally language, but the actual pronunciation is language because language comes from another word called lingua. Lingua means tongue. So generally we make use of tongue to speak. So sometimes we say, "Oh, he's a man without a tongue." So he's dumb. He cannot speak. He has no tongue in his mouth. That is, we say that unless somebody has a tongue, they cannot communicate, they cannot speak. Sometimes people say he speaks with the tongues. That means he has only one tongue. But what does it mean? He speaks different languages. He knows different languages. Suddenly, in his common speech, he makes use of some strange words. So he speaks with the tongues. That is, tongue is useful for speech. And without language, it becomes very difficult to communicate. So one day what happened? People were thinking how to reach heaven. So they thought they will build a very big structure, a very tall structure, which will reach the skies. And from there they can go to heaven or they can go to the topest level in the world, in the universe. And God thought, if these fellows will do, they will not fear God. They think that man is almost equal to God. So, what to do? So, he created different languages. Before that, there was only one language. And to stop this kind of construction and to stop this kind of human thinking, different languages came into existence. People started speaking different languages, and since those languages were new, they could not understand each other. So the construction which was about to take place, which was about to be completed, that construction became a waste. It has fallen down because there was a confusion in languages. So that is the power of language. If you have one language, you can do one kind of thing. If you have different languages, you can do many kinds of things. But different languages created confusion, and these people were unable to build a structure. So the meaning is what I want to say is, so to have communication, we need speech, and we speak with the help of a tongue, and whatever comes out from the tongue is considered as a language. That is, a language is something that has got some structure, some method, some system. So now, when we think of language, only human beings has this facility. Other creatures like birds or animals or snakes or bees, they cannot speak. They create different sound types of sounds. A bird twitters, a lion roars, an elephant trumpets, a dog barks, a snake hisses. So in this way, so these are the different words used to tell about the sounds created by animals. Because they cannot speak. Only human beings speak. Therefore, language is an asset to human beings. It is a gift given by God to human beings. Now we will try to understand what exactly this language means. So you can watch a slide here. The slide the slide shows uh, some interesting information about language. What language exactly means. So you can see the first line. So what is language? The first line says that language is a method of human communication. So language has got a scientific meaning. Language has got a scientific meaning because it is a method of human communication. That is, we try to communicate. Who will communicate? Just now, I have told you that human beings can communicate. And even in this communication, there is a certain method. Because without a certain method, your communication becomes confusing. You cannot communicate properly. You will be misunderstood by others. Because if you take examples of different types of people, we have rich people, we have educated people, we have royal people, we have common man, and we have the ordinary person and below average who are uneducated, illiterate, the street vendors, the beggars on the street, the politicians, the ruffians, the mafia people. So they have their own style of speaking. But to have a good communication, we need a method of understanding or acquiring the language. Because when you are attending an official meeting, you are not supposed to speak in a very casual manner. You are not supposed to use words which are not correct, which are unparliamentary, so which are not accepted in that situation. That is, even communication should be done in a systematic manner. That is, language has to be used in a proper way. Therefore, the first point says that language is a method of human communication. కాబట్టి మనం అర్థం చేసుకోవాలి భాష అంటే ఏంటి అంటే అది మనము సంప్రదించడానికి ఇతరులకు సమాచారానికి వినియోగించడానికి ఒక పద్ధతి ఒక విధానం కానీ ఇష్టం వచ్చినట్టు మాట్లాడడానికి లేదు దాన్ని కూడా ఒక పద్ధతి ప్రకారం మాట్లాడాలి అందుకని సెకండ్ పాయింట్ ఏముంది వాట్ డస్ ద సెకండ్ పాయింట్ సే లాంగ్వేజ్ ఈజ్ అ సిస్టమ్ ఆఫ్ కమ్యూనికేషన్ సో ఫస్ట్ ఇట్ ఈస్ ఎ మెథడ్ of how to interact with others, and the second one is it is a system of communication. So you cannot simply communicate in a haphazard manner. You cannot communicate as you wish. ఇష్టం వచ్చినట్టు మాట్లాడడానికి లేదు. అది ఇంట్లో మాట్లాడినట్టు బయట మాట్లాడడానికి లేదు. నలుగురు మధ్యలో ఉన్నప్పుడు ఏ విధంగా మాట్లాడాలి. సో ఇవన్నీ చెప్పే విధానం ఏమంటాము? దెర్ ఇస్ ఎ సిస్టమ్. సో లాంగ్వేజ్ ఈజ్ అ సిస్టమ్ ఆఫ్ కమ్యూనికేషన్. And the third one is not simply a system, it is a structured system of communication. So here I am using different words in different contexts. I am using different words in different sentences. So if you want to give an answer, there is a structure. If you want to ask a question, there is another structure. If you want to express your anger, your sorrow, your joy, there is another structure. If you want to say good words, if you want to wish, if you want to greet, there is another structure. So in this way, We have different types of sentences in English which can be used in different situations. That is, each sentence has got its own structure. స్ట్రక్చర్ అంటే ఏంటి? ఆ సెంటెన్స్ యొక్క విధానము, ఆ సెంటెన్స్ మనము చూసే తీరు. ఇట్ హెస్ గాట్ ఎ ఫార్మ్, ఇట్ హెస్ గాట్ అన్ అపియరెన్స్, ఇట్ హెస్ గాట్ ఎ స్ట్రక్చర్. Example, if you take a sentence, what is your name? What is your name? So starts with what followed by the verb is. What is your name? Your is in the third position. But when you come to the answer, in place of your, you are going to use the word my. So my comes in the first position. My name, your name became my name is. Now the verb comes to the third position. My name is so and so. My name is XYZ. So in question you have one structure, in answer you have another structure. So if you do not understand the structure, you cannot communicate properly. You cannot give answer like an answer, or you cannot put question like a question. Sometimes answer becomes a question becomes an answer. So we use people writing some statements, some lines. So instead of questioning, they give the answer because they do not know they do not understand the structure of a sentence or how to communicate in a structured way. So that is another idea about language. And when you come to the fourth one, what does it say? Language is a body of words. So what do you use in language? How do you form language? How is language formed? Language is formed by words. So as a child or as a small baby, you cry. When you become a child, you start shouting, you start uttering something. And once you become a school going boy, you started speaking. Then you make use of words. Whatever words you learn from your mother, father, brother, sister, your neighbors, your teacher, you start using them. Slowly, those words are converted into sentences and into paragraph, into text, into a book, into a volume. So, this is how language develops one stage after the other. So, therefore, what do you understand by language? Language is a body of words. So, therefore, for simple understanding, you can understand that language is a body of words. It is a body. And what do you find there? Words. Just now I gave you number of examples. Okay. My house is beside the lake. My house is beside the lake. So you are using almost 6 to 7 words to make a sentence. And this group of words is called body of words. So this is how you are supposed to learn language. And this you can use it in your daily communication for your daily routine activities. But if you want to learn more about language, you have to make in-depth analysis, a study, a serious study about language. And the area which tells about the science of language, the importance of language, is called linguistics. So, when we think about language, we also come across a word called linguistics. So, istics means what? Study. Linguistics, statistics. In the same way, physics, X, mathematics, X. So X or ology means study. Example, biology, zoology, geology, physiology, philology. In the same way, linguistics, civics, politics. X means study. So what are you studying here? You are studying about language. Therefore, the science of language is called linguistics. So with all these ideas, that is the first idea is language is a method of human communication, system of communication, structured system of communication, body of words, and it is related to linguistics also, a further step in the study of language. With all these things in the background, now we come to the definition of what language means. So, till now, we saw the different points related to language. Now we have to see what this word actually means. That is definition of language. Some may ask you. What do you mean by language? So you can give answers in small bits and pieces. But if you want to give a correct definition of what language is, so you can look at this slide, which tells about the definition of a language. So here, for our understanding, language means it is a system of conventional, spoken, manual, written symbols. So here it gives a very clear picture of what language is. The first thing is it says that language is a system. You cannot say that I know each and every language. I can speak any language. So that is you have just an idea of what language is. But if you want to learn, if you want to use the exact language, you have to understand the system of it, because it says that the definition says that it is a system of conventional spoken written material manual conventional spoken manual written material. So here we find four words. The first one is conventional. Conventional means which we are supposed to use with the help of rules. It is a convention, sampradaya. So we cannot go against it. So when you are attending a certain situation, certain rules, conventional, spoken, manual, written. So not only conventional, we use it in a different ways. So what is the second way? Spoken, conventional, spoken, manual, written symbols. Spoken is well, which we use in our speech. So therefore, language we use it in the form of rules. Sound వచ్చిందేంటి ఏం కాదా బుమ్ అన్నది. Language we use it in a spoken form. Spoken means we have spoken English, at the same time we have written English also. Spoken English we generally use in our daily conversation, and wherever we communicate with our peers, with our officers in the society, in the company which we work, we are supposed to have good skills in spoken English. Spoken means which we use in our speech, and it differs from the written English, because in written English, the structure and all the grammatical rules have to be followed strictly, because writing reflects our personality. Therefore, spoken. And the next one is written, spoken, and manual. Not only manual, we have uh, the next point is written. Manual written, a system of conventional spoken manual written symbols. So written means we use in writing. So symbol doesn't mean any kind of sign, but whatever words we use, so they have to be understood as symbols. సో వర్డ్స్ హియర్ బిహేవ్ లైక్ సింబల్స్. మనం రాసే పదాలు ఏదైతే ఉన్నాయో అవి చిహ్నాలుగా ఉంటాయి. సో ఆ పదాలు మన గురించి చెప్తూ ఉన్నాయి లేదా ఇతరుల గురించి చెప్తూ ఉన్నాయి. సో ఆల్ దీస్ థింగ్స్ వి మేక్ యూజ్ ఆఫ్ whenever we communicate, which is a part of language. So with the help of all this, with the help of this system, what do we do? Human beings try to communicate by means of which human beings. So we are all human beings because we know how to behave. We have sympathy, we have love, we have affection. All these things are there, human beings. And why do we do all these things? Because as social animals, as a part of a society, we are supposed to communicate, interact in a decent manner. So we as human beings or as members of social group and participants in its culture, we cannot live like aliens. We cannot live like people living on an island alone. ఒక ఐలాండ్ లో మనం ఉండలేదు. వీఆర్ లివింగ్ అమాంగ్ అమిడ్స్ట్ పీపుల్, ప్రజల మధ్యలో ఉన్నాం కాబట్టి, సమాజంలో ఉన్నాం కాబట్టి, సొసైటీ, వాట్ ద సొసైటీ హ్యాస్, సొసైటీ హ్యాస్ ఇట్స్ ఓన్ కల్చర్. సో వీ హ్యావ్ టు ఫాలో ద కల్చర్ and express ourselves. As part of the society, we have to express. Express means we have to speak, we have to answer, we have to argue, we have to discuss, we have to negotiate, we have to share, we have to interpret, we have to represent. So, all these things we do as part of society. Therefore, what are we doing here? We are using the language. And what is this language? It is not a simple word. It appears simple, but it has got a very deep definition. And till now, I tried to discuss the definition of language with you for your understanding. Because as students of English, you are supposed to learn the importance of language with a special reference to English. Now, we'll come to the other slide. So, here I present a picture of a group of people. And what are they trying to do? They are trying to communicate with each other in their own manner. So they are making use of language as speech. They are also making use of body language because sometimes we communicate with the help of words, sometimes we communicate with the help of our body. That is, with the help of our eyes, with the help of our fingers, our arms, our body. So that is a language, that is a communication which is non-verbal. So when we use words, when we speak, it is called verbal. But when we do not use them and when we only try to imitate or to present, that is called non-verbal. So whatever we do, we are trying to communicate. And here, if you have a common communication, the others can easily understand. So here one fellow says hello, another fellow says hola, and others they say their own way of greeting. If you cannot understand that language, you cannot understand what they express. Sometimes by their behavior, we'll try to understand that they are trying to wish us. They want to talk to us. They want to shake hand with us, all these things. But unless you have a common language, you cannot communicate. So the other picture shows wherever you go, you are supposed to have a knowledge of that place. So we'll come to another slide which tells about the importance of English nowadays. So till now I discussed with you what language is and now why this language, why do we need this language? Where can we make use of this language? Because I told you with a language, you can communicate. With a language, you can speak. So every person has his or her own language. Every nation have their own language. Now, as Indians, why do we need to learn English? Because we got English from the Britishers. And whose language is English? English is a language of the people of England. So once they came to India, so to know about the country, to have a clear picture of the resources available in the country. They selected a group of people and made them learn English and made them learn English. Therefore, uh, English has become a tool of communication for the Indians. A tool of communication for the Indians. So here on this slide, we try to understand the importance of English. The title says why English communication is important nowadays. Why English communication is important nowadays. So the first one shows that if we have English fluency, we can grow up in our career. So here you find a person climbing the stairs. That is, he wants to move up in his career, in his job. And with the help of proper English, that is, with the proper knowledge on English fluency, you can strengthen your career from initial stage. So, from initial stage means from the initial stages, you are supposed to have a good command over English. You are supposed to improve your fluency. You are supposed to speak English fluently. You are supposed to use as many words as possible. So, if you are a good speaker of English, then you can build your career from the initial stage, from the beginning, and you can reach higher levels in your job prospectus or career. That is the first point. That is, English will help you grow up the ladder in your profession. నీ ఉద్యోగంలో పైస్థాయికి వెళ్ళాలంటే ఇంగ్లీష్ భాషలో నీకు మెలకువలు ప్రావీణ్యత రావాలి. నెక్స్ట్ వన్. As English is being used as official language in many countries, speaking English fluently makes you easier to communicate at any level. That is, you know the importance of English now. It is used for your academic growth also, not only your professional growth. It is also used. It is also useful for your academic growth because you are growing day by day, and you have to learn as many languages as possible. But it is not that easy. At least you are supposed to learn English, the other language besides your mother tongue. Because wherever you go in India or in some of the countries, English, we find English as the official language. That is, if you go to places like Canada, Australia, New Zealand, England, West Indies, Sri Lanka, Maldives, Malaysia. So all these countries were once ruled by the Britishers. So now, if at all you go to these places, you are supposed to have a clear understanding and knowledge of English, and you are supposed to speak English fluently. And if you can speak, you can be easily understood by others. You can attend academic activities like international conferences, seminars, meetings, because English will help you in good communication. So that is the second point. What is the third one? English helps you roam around the world for business or higher education without any hesitation and fear about communication. And the third one is related to moving to other places. So why do you go to other places? In search of jobs, in search of business, in search of creating relations with them. And now the world has become a global village because in earlier days, traveling was very difficult. Now you can move to any part of the world or you can communicate with anyone in the other part of the sphere in seconds of time. That is the advantage of advanced technology. Therefore, people say the world has become a global village. Now you can move to any part very easily. But if at all you want to move to any other part of the world, you need to have the good skills of communication, especially in English. So you can go to foreign places or abroad easily. First one is you can build up your career. Second one is you can excel in academics to moving to higher stages, participating in conferences. Third one is you can travel anywhere in the world with the help of this language. So these are the minimum things, minimum features related to language and related to English language. భాష పట్ల మంచి పట్టు సాధిస్తే మనము ఏదైనా కూడా చాలా సునాయాసంగా సాధించగలము. దట్ ఈస్ వీ కెన్ ఈజీలీ అచీవ్ ఎనీథింగ్ with fluency in that particular language. And since this is a class related to English language, so we are speaking or we are discussing the significance of English in this video recording. And if time permits or if it is possible, we can continue with the same topic in the next video also. And after that, we'll go to the routine syllabus of the third semester. So till then, try to make use of this video and try to understand the points which I gave you. And when we come to the next class, so first few minutes I will try to debrief. That is, I will ask you questions on what happened in the previous video. Then we can continue with the next video. Till then, goodbye.